What's the song that starts with Count Me In?
Oh,
Bubbles. No, who sings?
Can you count me in? Sa-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that one. That's the one. I love how you just scattered your way
for a while
through it.
now.
Yeah, that's it.
No, and now I've got to figure out what the fuck that is.
What's that?
Because she does, and then there's like this bad scat throughout the whole thing where she's like stringing words together, and then she finally gets to the, because episode and I'm feeling my toes with also in this thing, and nobody knows what the chorus is to this song.
Bubbly. It's called Bubbly. It's Colby Calais.
Right. There she goes.
There it is.
See, she needs help.
We can't put any of this on pod.
Colby Calais' team are on the prowl for us.
They'll never know.
So, oh my God. So cease and desist is being typed as we speak. When they come after you for that sort of thing, it's copyright infringement because you're using it to, you ready? You hold on to this, buckle up, earn money on her intellectual
don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, we're in real risk now.
But text, you're invited, and shared interest syndrome. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
Well, that checks out.
Look.
Is that butt text the one that I did in hilarious fashion, or have you got a better one? What's butt text?
You sent a butt text?
I told you about this.
Hi, Amy.
Hi,
How
Melissa.
are you?
I'm great. Everything's great. We're great. I accidentally went to She Podcasts, the group, by, let me even start. I was picking up my phone in the middle of doing something else. I think getting out of the car or absolutely not even using the phone. I just grabbed it. And I grabbed it in such a way where my fingers accidentally, axiomatically, automedentally picked up the phone, activated Facebook.
Autodentally.
I activated Facebook, opened the group that I'm not in really anytime. And it happened to be on a day where it's like, you know, What's Up Wednesday, where you get to promote your show for free in this group of 20,000 people. And so, okay, so it opened all the stuff. Click, 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 click. And then magically,
all because your thumbs were holding it funny.
Yes, or it was like pressed up against who knows what. Before I've gone Facebook Live, when my phone was inside my bra, like all these things. So I'm holding it, and by the time I glanced down, yeah, those were fun. By the time I glanced down,
your tits want to be seen.
Fortunately, it was all just bright, bright white, like the shining white of the heavens, which is interesting that that's inside my bra. But I mean, it was just pressed up against me, and it just went. So it was all this static, but I'm like, if you only knew, people, that's live. So I glanced down at the phone just in time to see that I had posted in this group. The prompt was, tell us anything you need to tell us about your show. And so my auto gestures or whatever wrote no and posted it in the group. It just seems so mean. And
that is a definite draw
to
our show.
Yes. So I laughed heartily, har, and then deleted it. Have you had a similar body mishap?
Mine wasn't my body, but yesterday I got a text that I'm confident was not meant for me. You've gotten those, right?
I always get them
to me.
I always get them. Well, I send them to you because that's user error. I have way too many groups going, and it's the last one I thought was open and gabba, or something will happen too rapidly. I receive them all the time. I'm convinced because I'm at the top of everybody's group contacts. I always get the A for the wrong A. The wrong Amy, the wrong Annie, the wrong whatever. And they're super fun. So which one did you get?
I will send, luckily I'm no longer a nasty catty bitch because.
Really? Okay.
You know, Stuart's made me a better person. So,
okay.
So there's a couple with whom we went out to dinner last night who sent a text that said, anywhere you want outdoors, because they know me. I'm not going, once the weather gets too cold, I'm done. Like, I'm not an indoor eater. So, I know. I'm sorry.
COVID. What have you done to our
It's just getting worse.
Crazy gal.
Just because we're fed up with it doesn't mean it's getting better. Anyway, she sends a text that says, anywhere you want, tell us where you want. We'd love to see you. Where you want to go, decide. So then I write their last name, the fill-in last name, and I think I'm sending it to Stuart saying, They want to see us for dinner. Anywhere we want outdoors. Where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh,
and I sent it right back to them.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say it was the Joneses and you sent it over to the Schlotzkys and said, hey, Schlotzkys, the Joneses want to see us for dinner.
Wah, wah.
And not you. Just in case
That
you
would
were
be
wondering if you hadn't felt left out. I wanted to make sure and tick that box for you today.
Just in case COVID hasn't made you feel shitty enough, here you go.
Oh.
So I sent it back to them and I was like, oh, luckily I didn't say, could you believe these fuckers want to, like, sent.
This fucking guy, right?
And you want to be my imports, exports. So I get a text yesterday that says, have an extra ticket for the Longwood Gardens fireworks and fountains display.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, lovely, right? Would you like to join us? A, I don't know who the us is in that sentence. Because B, I know who sent the text, but we have never gone out socially. Never. You're somebody no. I can't, I don't.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm a pins and needles because there's like 8,000 ways to
I've
handle
never,
this. And I know you won't do any of them. I know what you will do. Guess what you will do? Not even 3 dots. You'll just wait. She actually mouthed while I was saying this. She actually mouthed nothing. She couldn't even say
I did
it.
nothing.
You did nothing. You won't even say the word nothing. Nothing.
I did.
It's like you have a pause button and you like freeze frame. That's not a solution. Fuck. Okay.
I got to tell it came
the clock
through.
solved it for you by advancing itself forward. Yeah.
Sort of, because I assumed that this was a mistext. Like there must be another Melissa she's looking to invite. There must, because all the other mistexts happen for me because you're on my text chain. Like you're one of the 5 top people I've texted recently. Stuart was. I thought I sent it to him. I sent it to somebody else instead.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Yeah.
Like for you saying Amy, like it's not one of the top 5. She had to go look under M for she's never texted me before.
Right.
I went to scroll back to see
Mm-hmm.
what was our last conversation. Oh, wait, there is none.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I can't even, what made her think, did we ever discuss in a weird peripheral social 3 years ago, the last time I saw your face? Like I just looked at my phone like all of a sudden this thing that has been my main source of contact with my children, my main source of I've just started watching Ted Lasso, my main source of joy turned on me by sending me this text. It's now my enemy and I'm looking at it like, how dare you? So I did nothing because people I love send me texts. I laugh out loud and I do nothing.
Sweetheart,
like
that's your go-to move. You don't have to explain it. We all know you. Your go-to move is no move. You're a stop, delay, wait, pause, ghost, exit, silent, hide.
Your go-to move is no move.
No move. I'm not gonna move. You're like
no
that.
Movie.
You're like that. Who's the animal that does that? It's not deer in the headlights. There's somebody better who totally freezes. Who's the one that totally freezes?
It's an expression. You turn possum.
Maybe. I feel like there's somebody who's better than all of those. We'll think of it. There's some animal who's like really good.
Write us, brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Tell us what animal freezes and hopes not to be seen.
Yes, in the animal kingdom. Who is the Melissa? Okay. So
of the animal kingdom.
So the clock advanced, which means that the problem solved itself or created a new problem with legs.
Also, dear listener, I have to tell you, problems really don't just resolve themselves. They remain until, Crickets gets off her ass and does something about them. So... yeah, it was shocking to me. And then my heart started, I was super uncomfortable with the whole thing. And I put down the phone and I rubbed a dog and I drank some coffee. It was really upsetting for me. So how did it resolve itself?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe 4 hours later.
Fuck, you sat that way for 4 hours?
No, I went about my business.
Jiminy
but 4 hours later,
oh.
she texted again and said,
oops.
Can you text me back ASAP? Because if you don't want the ticket, I'm going to,
Move on.
invite someone else or give it to someone else or something like that. And I thought, so you really meant to send it to me? It was real. It wasn't like,
Kinda still-
I know.
kinda feel still like,
I know.
I feel still like, see, but also you're so out of my wheelhouse. I would never be in this situation. I would be in the first
Really?
situation all the time, but it would be ended within 8 seconds of receiving that text. Okay.
Well, if the text said something like, you left your pants at my house, I could have written back saying, that wasn't me.
And see,
Like,
but
I would have
why
sent
isn't
her a
that the
clip
same?
of
Why isn't that the
Shaggy
same?
singing It Wasn't Me.
That's right.
Or I'm sure this was meant for somebody else, but it could have been meant for me. It just is 99 and 44/100% unlikely that it was intended.
Let's check in. Let's check in with your body when you received the follow-up text.
Yes.
So walk me through the anxiety level. I want to hear about the spike when the second text came through.
I was like, my heart raced again just as it came back to normal. And I wrote back super fast. Super fast. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Stuart and I have plans tonight, meaning you just invited me. I am still married. I mean, maybe you've heard things I haven't heard or seen him somewhere I haven't seen him. We have plans tonight. Thank you for thinking of me, us. I don't know if I wrote us or me. Send. And that was the end of it. And then was she so embarrassed that she had to follow through with the invitation, or then she couldn't write back, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This was meant for another Melissa, or like what? Either way, I did have plans with the so-and-sos that I mistexted them about their invitation that went to.
So there's no
bizarre.
resolution here.
I don't know is the answer, but I'm sure that the fireworks and the fountains were lovely. That's what I missed.
Longwood for me is equal parts. I really have no desire to ever go there again. And every chance I get, I'll fucking go. Like, it's such a weird combination of Longwood Gardens is a massive, massive multi-acre foundational garden. We don't have too many of them in the United States compared to other countries.
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. And they really pimp it out at various points in the year to take
Seasonally.
full advantage. Yeah. And those displays take something that's already a really engaging, mindful, restful, inspiring place and turn it into kind of an event. Like, it's a wonderful, wonderful place to visit, but you're walking around fucking outside looking at shit that's lit up. So, I mean, I get it, but it's great.
But fireworks and fountains.
Super good.
They
Super good.
coordinate
They
like
have
the
music
Bellagio.
there.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's super worth going. Is it worth going with somebody who you kind of don't know? I would fucking love that shit. You know I would eat that up. I would meet a stranger in the bus station, and I was like, oh, my God, let's go to Longwood right now. That's what I would do.
Well, that's kind of what it felt like. Like, the invitation seemed so far out of left field. It was from a different stadium. Like, it just didn't. I just couldn't believe, which is why I gave her some crickets upon, like, nothing. I have nothing to say.
You know, my policy from pods of yore, ghosting and crickets gives me more anxiety than either one of those texts gave you. I would so much rather have you say, I accidentally sent this to you and I hate you. So I would never, ever mean it. This was
Just
a total
so you
mistake.
know with what
and
you're
frankly, I
dealing.
feel great that you're insulted. Like, I would rather get that text than nothing. That's how bad the fucking silence is. The silence is all of that tripled. Plus, I can't even be bothered to slap your face. It's just the worst. So I can't. I don't even understand it. I really don't understand
Crickets?
it. Yep.
It's because I'm an overthinker, and by the time I've overthought something, and I have ADD, so I'll overthink it, and then I'll race to something else to overthink that, and
You have generalized anxiety disorder in the form of texting, but...
I spent 2 days before this weekend in Pittsburgh visiting my son. Now, I have said before when walking the dog in the park and somebody says, your dog is beautiful, I say, thank you. Like, I made that dog and...
Well, it is a compliment. You should say thank you. That's not the time to say, fuck you.
I didn't birth him. Well, I'll tell you this, dear listener. I did birth that boy that I just visited.
Aww.
And I did raise that boy that I just visited. And he is... And every time I think about saying this, I like slam my head into a wood wall so I don't jinx anything. Like, no knocking on it. I just bang my head on a wall. I'm taking a little bit of credit. He's kind of awesome, and I like him as a person, and he's just, I felt so great going to visit him.
Aww.
I took him and a couple of his friends and my girlfriend who went also and her daughter out to dinner. We went to this pizza place, this gourmet, whatever, great reviews. And my son pulls out the ID that, has, and we order some drinks. His friends, no ID. So his friends, no drinky. And he orders a beer. Okay, well, he had a beer right there in front of me.
So I'm so proud of my son who has a fake ID and feels empowered to use it on a family trip with another group of parents, this illegal activity that I sanction and endorse. How long has he had a fake ID? And how long have you known about this? And how is this not a big deal? He could get kicked out of his shul. I don't know.
He can't get kicked out of school by being off campus.
Know.
He could get it taken away, but that's
no,
it.
I know. Actually, now that I say this, other friends had both of their sons are at the same school. It's the University of Boop, and they went down there together. Both had fake IDs. Both got busted in the dorm, and both got suspended for a year and a half of like some kind of problem at the school because they just had them and tried to show them. So who cares about that? You're just like blasé. It's almost like saying, so we pulled out a blunt and we all had a little, and it was delightful. Like, it's very strange to me.
I would have said that as well if that had happened, but that did not happen.
Oh my
Unfortunately,
stars.
Our society doesn't allow that to happen. So
you're very chill about this little drop-in fact. And I don't know if you expected me to be what? But it's a big. I never in my life had a fake ID. I never knew anyone who had a fake ID. We didn't need it. We're chicks. We don't fucking need that shit.
Right. We don't need it.
It's just gifted to you. Whatever you want, please. In 8 more pounds. I've got a wheelbarrow out back filled with whatever you would like, please. Yeah, so we don't need that stuff. Take some, please. Take lots. Yes. Very rapey.
It's like Halloween. You reach your hand in, trick or treat, whatever you want. It's yours.
He has it. You know he has it to the point where this conversation didn't even happen. It was old news at the table. Did the eyeballs of the other parents go burger, burger, burger?
No, it was just my girlfriend.
Okay.
Who knew that he had it. And so he gets a drink and I get a drink and they round of drinks. Not for the other kids that he brought because they're 18, 19, whatever.
Same as him, yeah.
With more responsible parents.
Not letting you off the fucking hook. Okay, so you're sitting there having pizza and beer with your son.
So wait, let's go there first. Of all on the scale of things that are going to upset me and offend me, he's going to learn hard lessons in life. He's going to have adversity. He's going to have all of these things. I mean, why? It's something everybody did except for you. It's something that it's just part of what life is. Be smart about it. If somebody takes it away, that's it. You don't have it anymore. I'm pretty confident that his school's not going to throw him out of school for having it. It seems actionable on our part if that were something that happened. It seems ridiculous.
Here's why it's so strange. Outside of my personal experience, said with more love than you are even capable of receiving, you're super uptight when it comes to your kids. You're way up their fucking crack. They're not allowed to do anything normal. They have to always zenith, summit, higher than, apex, fuck you losers, 13 levels below me, aren't you quaint? Because I'm all the way up here. So for them to
my kids allowed to do?
Well, they have to do all of the fucking homework, and they have to, go to all of the class, all the fucking. They
have to do their homework and go to classes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what you're advocating here, to put it in the context without spending an hour trying to give you a snapshot of what I see from the outside, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with your parenting style from the outside, because your parenting style from the outside is, I'm up in the PTA telling all y'all fucks why you're such shitty parents because you're not checking up on social media, and because I'm better than you and my kids are doing this. And if they slip and get anything less than a 99.2, I will fucking take your nuts and throw them out the window.
That's not true.
It is all true. And then you're like, but if you would like to do lots of illegal things, just, don't get caught. It's all right. It's a very weird combination.
I don't feel like, I mean, I'm definitely in their business. So I know more than most parents know.
Yes. I'm in
that's
same,
actually,
I'm in the same boat with my kids. I
and
know
that's
all
actually
the
because
things. Right.
of advice that my pediatrician gave me when I brought him the lump of clay that was newborns, right? He said to me, know their friends and stay up in their face, because that's how you parent correctly. And I was a new mom. And I said, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Somebody's going to give me direction. I'm not taking direction from my parents, because all I see are their mistakes. So when somebody who's been doing this for 40 years turns to me and says, stay up in their business, I do. Did I take the picture that led to the fake ID? No. Did I know about it? No. But once he had it, like he has it, okay, so it's just a rite of passage kind of thing. Did everybody drink in college? Yes, they did. Did you drink in college?
No, a little bit, sure, yeah. A little bit.
Weekends.
Yeah. No, I'm no goody-goody. I did, frankly, a little bit more drugs than I did drinking. I always I had trouble with drinking, but yeah, so and it was the first time that I had ever done any of that. I didn't do any of it in high school. I would just actually take what was passed to me and pass it to the next person, and nobody cared. It was in the height of just say no. I didn't have to just say nothing. I would just take it and pass it. People don't care. They're not pushing it on you. They're being neighborly. Like this whole idea that kids want all other kids to be drunker and off the chain, and no, we're all doing the same thing. Would you like some? No? Okay, next. It's more for me. I'm not here to make sure. I get nothing.
Everybody is as high as I am.
I get nothing out of you doing this. So I'm pointing out to you that if I was at that table, I would be way shocked, and I would make a comment about it. And I honestly don't even know how I'd feel about it. It's very weird. It's very weird. It's very weird to me, knowing you and knowing him, that there are some areas that feel to me, in my own unique experience, as wildly lawless, when the whole rest of your familial world feels to me, in my experience, as tight as a fucking bag of ticks. It's just, here's what you don't get to have your electronics after 10:02, or I will take it and I will snap it, and the shoes and the account and the money and it doesn't match with
it doesn't fit.
Hey man, I've got, a box of fireworks and some jewels out back. What say we go get high and maybe do some fake IDs for your friends? What do you think? That's like a birthday party activity that you would host. Like, it doesn't connect. So, which is not at all what you said you were doing. I'm just saying it's like this. My head is okay. I'm the only one. I'm unique. I have my own experiences in the world. I've shared them with you. Moving on. You're very proud. You're very proud of your pizza swilling.
No, I'm not proud of the fact that he
pulled out every way to be proud. That's just a detail.
That's not what I'm proud
out
of.
To me. I know you're not.
I'm proud of this boy who sat there with these two friends that to whom he introduced me, and they were delightful. They were smart and kind from what I could see at a dinner, and that as my son pulls out his fake ID. And they all have, that app, Life 360?
I do.
There's a group of like 10 of them, and they all have each other on Life 360.
Oh, okay.
So as I am talking to them, he looks at his watch, and it says, so-and-so, this girl in their group, has left the library, and she is headed, well, it doesn't say where she's headed, but she has left the library. So they're watching her now to make sure she gets home okay. They have checks on each other, this 10, 11 kids. And I thought that was a parent stalker app, but it turns out it's make sure your friends got home okay tonight.
Yeah,
app.
it's very helpful in that way.
I love that they do that, and that he has this group, and that they care about each other, and the fact that they're all looking out for each other, and that he found this group of kids, and they are kind and interesting, super interesting kids. I like it. I like it a lot, and the life that he's made for himself is obviously not the one I would have made for myself, but I love that he's found his place, and things are good with him.
And so quickly too. That of itself is something to celebrate and be so relaxed and relieved and proud that he has moved in and settled in and leveled up so fast. That's a huge
Just so
milestone.
you know, I did say I am super proud of the person you are, the thoughts that are coming out of your mouth, like all of these things. I am going to need to see some grades because you are not here for a social experiment.
Tight
it
as a
is
tick,
actually
tight
school.
As a tick, tight as a tick, 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 tick.
Right.
Tick, tick, tick. There
So,
she is.
I am so.
There she
so I just
is.
does that make you feel better?
Welcome back.
I said if you can maintain this world that you built, and
everything
these
about you is
friends-
great. You're perfect. You're an assimilated adult. I'm so proud. What's your fucking GPA?
How's school going? Like, are you going in person? Are you like, what's happening? Are you enjoying it? Are you hating it? Are you dropping this? Like, what? So he's like, yeah, I know I'm here for school. I'm like, that's all I needed to hear you say. Get me a beer. So go get me a beer.
Oh.
So his friends didn't drink, and half of them I think don't at all, which is again, love having them hang out with him too, like just to counterbalance. In the same way, my husband just came in and said, I'm paying the Visa bill right now, and he has a third card on our bill, right? And it says IHOP last night. I'm like, what time was it? It doesn't tell me yet what time it was, but it's probably like 1 a.m. They went to IHOP for, chocolate chip pancakes, or they don't have moons over my Hemi. That's Denny's,
no
right?
Perkins cookies for him, but yes.
Perkins. I didn't even look while I was there if there's Perkins because they have insomnia cookie.
Right.
Because it's a campus and that's what you have. You have fresh, warm, baked cookies delivered to your fresh, warm, baked students at all hours of the night. I should have done that while I was there.
I love this. You were saying part of the reason that you're so proud is that you do have a deep, accurate, truth-based relationship with your kid. And that includes stuff that normally kids would want to hide from their parents. I super love that. I accidentally stumbled into that, not because I was...
I know you have that with Rocco. I was always like, he told you what?
I absolutely have it with, excuse me, the next one in line as well. And he was angry about it and yelling at me just this past 2-3 weeks because honestly, it was in the middle of a frustrating moment and he busts out and he's like, why can't you be like all the other parents?
Yes.
Everybody lies to their parents and they believe it. Why can't you just buy it? You always do this. And I'm like, what? Ask you until the truth comes out? Like, what? Is that revolutionary? I'm like the worst at this parenting thing. I'm hanging on to the bumper while the car is speeding away from the parenting team.
Love that graphic.
I'm absolutely not in the car. I don't get it. I don't have it. Right. But he continues to, because he also I invite them to drop the dime on their friends. And they do. And I absolutely will never drop the dime on their friends to their parents. Right.
Yeah.
And that's a really shitty place to be. But I've already told all my parents before my kids were even old enough to start telling me very real things that unless your kid is in danger, like I'm not going to tell you. I either presume that you know, or it'll come out in due course, or it's none. I'm not doing it. Right. So if I found out, and I said, I'm okay if you, however much, because I have stumbled into a group of parents who want to tell me every fucking thing. Like your kid was rude to another kid at 10 o'clock at the rehearsal when we were all there and everybody was tired from having to be there for 9 hours. And I'm like, thank you for calling me at 10:30 to tell me that my, teenage child said a rude comment that maybe you overheard in the lobby. It's like, what color underwear was he wearing?
Probably out of context, and he's exhausted.
I don't fucking care. At a certain point, it's like, did he hit somebody? Like, what are we?
Where's the danger in this one? Tell me the danger.
I get. It was one of these things where whatever was going down. She said, I just thought that you would want to know because I know that
you were wrong.
We have 3 boys. She's like, I know that these are really nice boys. Like she just had this idea that nobody ever gets frustrated or can say something smart-assy or hurtful when you're a teenager. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad that you told me. I will follow up.
Knowing him, it was definitely smart-assy.
I was just like, here's what I'm getting ready to follow up with. Yeah, All
right, so along those lines.
Anyway.
I walk into my kids' room. So he does have a problem, right? And that's why we keep these doors of communication wide open so that when they do have issues and they do have problems,
Who are you
they
talking
can
about?
come to you.
Who are you talking about? When he has a problem, or you're trying to suggest that your son has some problem? Because there's no fucking problems.
Well, he has a problem right now because his roommate.
Oh, at school. You're getting ready to tell me the
his
context.
roommate
I was lost. I'm back with
is
you.
He's a gamer.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I'm sure you remember me with this gamer son of mine saying, you're going to camp this summer, right? That way you could be with people and have social skills and not just be all laptop, like desktop PC gaming.
Yeah,
because
this is season one. This was freshman year with Rocco. Season 1 of college.
Well, season 1, was he the gamer or was it his roommate?
I'm going to tell you after you tell me your tale. Go.
Okay, so his roommate is always playing Overwatch or whatever fucking
or who cares
stupid
what
ass shit.
Yeah,
right. Killing team with other people, headset, and we know it because we lived here in COVID for a year with a boy who played incessantly.
Yeah.
So you're at college now, son, not mine, the other one, and he is loud, slapping the desk, yelling the same obscenities at people he's playing with. The same thing that we had in our house, but now you're in a social situation of, how do you say it, college.
Ain't that big a room, guys, you know?
And you got a roommate. Let's discuss that. So I get a FaceTime from the boy, and I am looking at him, and while looking at him, I see him, and then behind him, I see his roommate at his desk gaming, right? I see the animation and the firing and all that gaming. So he's whispering to me on FaceTime while he's doing his Spanish homework, and I laughed at something he said, and he answered a question, and his roommate turned around and asked him if he could keep it down while he was gaming. Are you fucking kidding me? I almost lost my shit. And Ethan's like, I gotta go. So so this boy spends all of his time. My son goes to bed at midnight, 12:30, and at 1:45, he's slamming the desk again, screaming while playing this game still. And I said, do you want me to call his mommy? Because I'll call his mommy and I'll tell her.
She's back.
Do you want me to call his mom? I said, you have to say something to him. This is your room too. He cannot do that 24/7. Also, I'd like you to meet the library, whereas it's probably where you're going to have to study. And it's going to be something you talk about that my freshman year roommate was such an idiot, like la, 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 la. But you need to solve this problem on your own. You're also living with him for another 8 months. So you really need to
solve it in a way that doesn't
way.
Burn the house down. Right.
Correct. So what do you do?
Where are we on this? Are we still in the throes of?
I think, yes. He said something to him like, you just can't game into all hours of the night. I live here too. I sleep here too. And he's like, oh, I think he might be a little tweaked. Might be gaming that made him tweaked, but it's not something you can just stop. It's absolutely something he's addicted to. And I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I want to see, I don't even want to say I want to wait for the next problem because there's going to be another problem. He plays till all hours. I mean, if you don't have school or a roommate, you can, but...
No, the reality is he can because it's his choice to do whatever he wants to do and to have college be whatever he needs it to be or wants it to be or will be for himself. None of that is any of your son's business or your business or the school's business. What is your son's business is when this other student's habits and choices are fucking with our shared space and fucking with my life. Now we're going to have a conversation. And we would start the conversation when you looked at me whispering and said, can you keep it down? Because that's the point when I unplug the computer while you're on it. And we can talk about this or get into the fist fight that's inevitably going to happen when I unplug the computer. Because the truth is, I have your attention now. And the reality is, you don't get to have rules for you that are different than rules for me. I get that you need time for quiet. You've just asked for it. You don't give me any time for quiet with the way you live your life. So you get to sort this shit out.
I'm going to send him this podcast.
There is no chance that I'm waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning because you can't keep your mouth closed. It's bad enough that the light is on, that your headphones are on. It's bad enough that din is occurring in our shared space. That might be something I could get over because we all have our own sleep schedules and life habits.
I'll get a face mask, but do not slap that
You don't
desk.
get to fucking yell and look at me and say, hey, can you fucking keep it down? Because that's
well,
the
I'm
point.
talking to my mother.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't get to have different rules for you than you have for me. And P.S., we're going to set up some rules for this place. Like, if you can't figure out how to live compassionate with another person in your environment, like, I don't know where
I
you
wish
lived
he could
before.
say all of these things.
All the other thing that he could do is say, bro, you can't wake me up in the middle of the night. You can't. You can't wake me up in the middle of the night. I don't care what you're doing. You can't do it. You're going to solve this, or I'm going to solve it for you. So, and I don't want there to be
with fists.
No, I mean, that's one way to do it. And that happens a lot. I don't advocate it. I don't excuse it when it happens. That's not at all where I'm going, but I know it's a reality. And for some people, that's the way to solve shit. Some people invite it because that's the only thing they have. I absolutely do not
condone.
No, the next one is, I absolutely do not condone the extremely effective method. I don't endorse, don't condone, don't like it, and I frankly dispute that it even works, even though I have lots of evidence to show that it does work, which is the sabotage method, right? The Old Testament tit for fucking tat. You want to play this shit where you're up at 1 o'clock in the night? Well, I can get up at 3 o'clock in the night with a bucket of water. Whoops! I just tripped and spilled it all over the floor where you are, and now the lights are on, and it's really bright. Did you have a test today? Gosh, I'm so sorry that you couldn't be quiet. None of that stuff ever does anything except escalate, escalate, escalate. So at a certain point, this kid is going to have a real conversation where he steps up and recognizes that he is not living in a room by himself. That's it. You're in a room with someone else. And your son has been at camp long enough to understand the dynamics of a group space.
Absolutely.
He's going to have no problem fucking camp counseling this shit into oblivion. Zero. And we don't even know the size of the space. Is this a shared room or a suite?
It's a shared room.
Okay, so it is tight. Yeah.
So somebody said, let him wear earplugs to bed.
No,
and
fuck
I said, well,
you. It's not my job to solve your problem.
How's he going to hear his alarm when it goes off?
It's the wrong answer. I am not doing anything wrong. The friend is the violator here. I should not have to accommodate you violating me further. And that's what you do when you stay quiet. That's what you do when you don't clearly say, this isn't okay. It's surprising that we have to have a conversation like this, but now that we are, you gotta have some ground rules about what's okay. Find a cafe or somewhere where you can go get this done, or stop doing it, because it's not okay. There's sleeping
Dear listener,
hours.
did you have a nightmare freshman roommate? Tell us about it. We want to know both what happened and how you resolved it.
Well, what's
brilliantobservations@gmail.com.
That's the one. So what's so interesting is when Rocco, he had a similar environment, but it was a temptation. It was a distraction. It was fucking up his ability to go to class. His roommate in a shared room, a one-room dorm, was in a different major, as everybody's always in a different major than you. He was asynchronous, which means 100% of his roommate's classes occurred whenever his roommate chose to take them. There was no set time of day that it would occur. There was simply, here are your assignments for the period, turn them in. So it was all free form. So the clock meant very little to this person, this student. My son had specific time of day, 8 a.m.
Be in labs,
so when the roommate is awake and on a case of Monster Energy drink at 4 o'clock in the morning, just doing work, that's not okay. And when it gets to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon and class is coming up at 4:30, hey, let's quick. You've got an hour before you have to think about class. Let's go take this case of Monster Energy drink and see how many we do a taste test and see how many we can drink and drop it off the roof and run around like crazy people and tweak. Yeah, he was definitely 100% that guy. And my son had a hard time telling his own brain, no, I want to not do the fun thing because I actually don't want to fuck up my life. I don't want to fail out of school. I want to attend this class, which is intensely hard for me to do in this online format. I'm an in-person person. It's all the energy that I have to be able to do online learning and to frankly show up on time with work done. That level of crap that I'm doing is carrying so much extra weight. And all I want to do is ride the Monster Energy drink sled down the hallway into the pool of, I don't even know what the fuck they were doing.
Jello shots. It'll be great.
Oh,
Let's do it.
yes.
Everybody.
So by the time
I've got the whole floor to
and
do it.
The good news is it only lasted in that very first moment for 5 weeks, and they were all kicked out due to COVID. So he had a brand new roommate, and that roommate didn't come back to school. Just didn't come back. Didn't come back for spring semester, as is the case with lots of students.
I was hoping this kid would tank.
Your son knows how to handle this situation. He just doesn't fucking want to.
You have shared interest syndrome?
Well, I was racing back to pod with you today from the lake. My son has a 2-day regatta this weekend.
You got a regatta.
You got a regatta. And it starts very early in the morning. So, and it goes very late at night. So I was up late, shuttling him around, and I'm the only one here. My husband's gone with the little one at a faraway,
closer to me.
High deal. Yeah, he's at another, extraordinary moment for the young superstar that we have. And the middle one who is here is crushing it. My God. He has had more activities and shit to do, almost round the clocky shit to do for the past, since Wednesday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day starting at, you were in the car at 7:30 in the morning. And most of the events, I'm picking him up at 11:30 at night, every single night, back to back. And this is a child who struggles with being on time for things and frankly, waking up in the morning to the point where I actually enrolled him in a sleep study. Like this is a huge, huge disruptive. So I went into this segment of our lives terrified that it's like, I'm trying to just accept what's going to be.
With a full day?
He has crushed it.
Wow.
He was late for one thing. So the reason that I put shared interest syndrome is because driving him again to the lake this morning, everybody's there. It's the Mayor's Cup. There's a lot of people there. Looking around, I was just struck with how many times in my life I find myself in a group where we are all aligned around the thing the group is for. Sailing, rowing, whatever it is. Pilates. I don't even know what the fuck the thing would be. We're all aligned around this professional group or this private group, the thing. And
that unites you.
I look at all these people and I'm like, and then you end up in these relationships with these people. I'm like, we're not alike in any way.
Never would have found you
otherwise. Except for this thing. And most of the time in my life, it leads to these wonderful, exciting, really treasured relationships. And a lot of times in my life, I'm like, you are the weirdest fuck, and I don't even know. I don't like parking
and
next
I wouldn't
to
know you if my kid wasn't.
My God, it's like, how did we? And please don't text me at home like
I'll cricket you.
Well, I can't. I can't. I can't do that. I can't. So then I'm in these situations where I'm like, well, how did I get here? Having coffee with all y'all. Jesus, right? I love it when I'm that person for someone else. When I'm the one at the table and I'm like, I don't know how the fuck she's hanging on, but she's got her claws in the bumper, whatever the fuck it is. But
I am trying to make that graphic in my head right now for this week's podcast.
I'm just saying. It's rare that I can't find, not even looking. It's rare that automatically something really cool and interesting and unusual and attractive bubbles up from all these people. But it's also when there's nothing there and I got to fucking work and look for it. I think to myself, why am I working so hard to invite this person deeper into my life when I'm kind of overwhelmed with the amount of people that are in my life already? And
I can't even see the people I want to see.
I don't fucking know you, and I don't like you. I'm sure you're great, but go be great with other people. Like, I don't fucking...
Is it wrong to not engage because you already have enough friends? Is that...
I kind of feel like it is, though. That's how...
I think it's wrong also.
Well,
you never know what's out
no,
there.
I wonder if that was the doctrine that, we were quizzed on for our whole lives. You must. You going to finish? You must increase your bust. Thank you. That was the thing that we all had. Yeah, that's the tenet. That's the core philosophy. This is good human 101. You must. You've always got time for another friend. That's always my philosophy. And I would end up with some people, two in particular who I can think of who have since moved away. I don't associate with them anymore. They've just sort of fallen out on their own, volition. It was not me pushing them out. Jesus, I'm so glad they're gone. It was just kind of terrifying. They would come up and stand too close and have guns and be very weird and,
we're very different people.
Talk conspiracy theory, the whole thing. Yes. And text my kids trying to find me. Like, it's like, okay, if I'm not available,
I'm not available.
That's kind of your first and only clue, because you don't need any more clues. It's solved.
That's it.
The problem solved. I'm not available.
Is this part of your major life realization?
I guess maybe on my own. I feel as if I have a tendency to join. I didn't think of myself as a joiner. Maybe you look at me and you're like, yeah, you're a fucking joiner. Why didn't you know
You're
this?
You're a joiner.
Do you think this? Did you know this already? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because it's
I'll
sad.
sign up for that. It's kind of written on your forehead.
It's fucking sad.
I'll bring snacks. I'll sign up for that.
Bringing snacks is not being a joiner. Being a joiner is its own sadness. I bring snacks. It is. I own it. I know that I'm a joiner. I didn't realize it, but I'm a fucking joiner. So I'm in a lot of shit, right? And it's starting to dawn on me that I won't do something by myself. And maybe a lot of the blockages that I'm having in my professional sphere is because I won't do it by myself. I've run very wildly successful businesses, always with a partner. Frankly, in at least 2 cases, with a partner who cheated me and was a gaslighter and not a trustworthy person and cheated on his wife and just all the things, right? So not good. Or would align myself with a company that's going to take more than I'm giving. Like, it's why am I not standing up and just doing the thing by myself? Is it less about this fear of success? I've been told, it's fear of success. That's a kind of imposter syndrome. That's what you have. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not fucking, I'll take success. Success is great. Come on, let's get some more.
Knock on my door.
Let's get some more. I think it's great. But I definitely get in my own way. Always. Always, always, always. Throw obstacles in my own path. I embrace that. I know that. I don't like doing it, but it's what I do. Now I'm wondering if one of my mechanisms is, you're not going to do this by yourself. You need somebody else with you. You need a club. You need a group. You need a pulley system.
Committee.
You need a buddy system. I've always been on a team. I excelled in competitive sports as an individual on a team. You don't swim. It's not golf. You're on a team as a swimmer. So I was competing in my own races, but it was always as part of a bigger collective. There's never been when I was doing music.
When you got out of that pool, it wasn't, it's me. It's like 10 girls, guys, whatever,
when
around
I was
you, had a girl.
Yeah, when I was doing music, it was always as part of a whole bunch of other people. When there were opportunities to go out and do it by myself, I would run from them and say, no, I'm not going to do that, even though I would like that right now. So I don't know. I'm just spinning like a top in a not good way right now.
Let's call that dreidling.
Well, I'm dreidling right now. It's not even Hanukkah. So
that's okay.
The end of, I don't even know why I say the end of, we're almost at the end of 2021, and I was going to reference the end of 2020. The mindset shift of all of this moment in time, 2020 through this moment, has me questioning a lot of things. And there's a lot of begin again, Finnegan nonsense going on. I'm at, the menopause area. I don't know if I can kid myself and still call it midlife. I'd have to be really old for this to be my midlife. So, that's fine. Got rid of my business.
This is your midlife.
Well, I understand the sports car, right? Because I've been doing a lot of joining. I've been doing a lot of trying. I've been doing a lot of maybe this is the thing. Maybe that is the thing. Found myself saying to my son just yesterday when he was, don't ask me again what I'm going to do for college, what I'm going to be, and what I'm going to study. Just don't. And I said, well, I'm asking honestly because I'm doing a little of that myself. I said, and I'm in a weird position because I don't actually have to do anything. I could just fucking retire. I don't need to do anything. And there's this weird no pressure. Then it's like, I should invent something to do. And I'm coming all the way full circle to your second act. And I wonder if you suffer from on my own, like I suffer from on my own. I see a nod. This was a huge realization for me that I haven't even fully formed. You're saying it like yeah, I fucking get that. What's the matter with you, slowpoke? Don't slowpoke me. Don't fucking slowpoke me.
Welcome to the game.
Shit. This whole
now,
time? You knew this
here's
the
a
whole
good point.
time? You knew this the whole time?
Not only did I know this the whole time, but you have to come to it to yourself, by yourself, and now you get to join me. You get to join this club.
That works for me. And now
which is what you wanted.
I should just make a club. Okay, well, I can succeed at that then.
Exactly. Exactly, because now you're on a team again. It's just us against the world. Wait till we get to Scottsdale. You just wait.
Hot shit biscuit dogs. Well, that checks out. Blah, blah,
Dear
blah,
listener,
blah,
do you
blah.
think we're successful? Do you think we're a successful podcast? Do we entertain you? Do you let us know that we entertain you by interacting with us on Instagram or Twitter at Listen Brilliant, or on Facebook at Brilliant Observations or Brillobs Squad, brilliantobservations@gmail.com. It's like the 11th time in this episode I've said it, but it's worth saying again. I got an invitation to a bar mitzvah.
Oh, so did I. Yay.
And then
different one.
3 weeks later, a month later, I got another email that said, "We know you've received an invitation from us, but if you are not vaccinated, you are not welcome."
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, rock on, friends.
That's
rock
a
on.
little
It was
clumsy. Yeah.
the numbers were lower when they sent out the invitation, and now they're at their highest point ever. And they said, I can't have that. So they uninvited several people, and also told you if you have a vaccine issue, you should not be there. You are no longer invited. I don't know that they're going to check. We got a second invitation to a bat mitzvah, and the guy is doing swabs at the door. He's doing tests at the door before you come in. COVID tests. Because it's a bigger one. That's a bigger party. And as I call it, a super spreader. And that's not something I'm necessarily comfortable going to. But I like this guy, and I don't know his daughter. And I don't know what to do about all these invitations. It was hard for me to say I'm going to Scottsdale. Like, I don't want to travel. How many more TikToks do you need to see of airport people losing their mind, people being duct taped to seats on planes, not wearing masks, yelling racist, inflammatory shit through airplanes? I should start sending you all the TikToks of travel, because they're a nightmare.
I don't watch any of them. I don't connect with the news in any way. I really don't.
It must be a nice little life you have carved out there.
I avoid it. I had been super saturated for a long time and very active in the community and making change the way that I can and trying to get through it. And I noticed that, as I've mentioned, come around January, it was not possible for me to impact the kind of change that was offsetting the awareness of what was happening. And I just turned it off.
That's
for
smart.
A short period. And I noticed in that short period a huge shift in myself, in my body, in my everything. It was.
Well, you are also an empath, so the shit that you saw on TV,
it keeps me awake at night. I cry myself. I cannot. I had to slow that, and since there was no way for me to fundamentally make it any better, even on a local level, I focused on doing other things to make, like, here's where I can have an impact. And I would do that and do that and do that. I also, in that span of time, had the opportunity to have multiple vaccinations. So, and have everyone around me have multiple vaccinations. So I don't feel the urgency of the afflicted. Even though they're around me, I don't feel it.
You're unplugging this way. Does that mean you don't know about the Gabby Petito story?
Unfortunately, I do. And I'm shutting that off actively as well, because now we have the follow-up story, which is of the media's own making, where now they're using this as a platform to say, but what about it's the whataboutism. But what about all the other people who have been murdered that we haven't obsessively been focused on because we don't have video of them that we can show at footage on and on.
And they're not pretty white girls.
It's the footage. It's not necessarily that she is white. It's not necessarily that she is young and affluent. Those things are factors. More important than either one of those things is that we have the footage. And I will use an ugly comparison, but it should resonate. George Floyd.
Yeah.
The reason that George Floyd was able to change the hearts and minds of so many around the globe is because we could see it. when you see it happen, you are engaged in that moment in a vastly different way. That is far and away.
Right. You play a complicit role in it once you've seen it.
That is far and away more a factor in why we are in any way talking about this Gabby disappearance and not about the disappearance of someone who went missing on her post office route or never came home from work that day or was on a plantation, God help me, on a reservation or when indigenous people who were mistreated and
700 indigenous people are missing and nobody's said right.
We don't have the footage of the crime occurring. So in my massive privileged life that I'm well aware of, I thoughtfully, consciously turned that tap off and have been able to focus on other things in ways that are good. I also am completely unaffected by the reality of rampant COVID.
Yeah, I still see it. I still see it every day. I still see my husband come home with tape marks from his face where he has to tape on the N95 with another one over it and a face shield and it's when they're getting 70 patients in a 30 patient ER, it's everywhere. And I mean, I thought we could be the people who got out of this by saying, can you believe we never got it? That's not going to happen. We're going to get it. We're going to get it because people go out and everybody's not following rules that could completely stem this. And they've just had enough. So I told you in the beginning, COVID protocols did not really mess up my social life. I'm pretty much a stay-at-home kind of girl, and I'm fine with it because I am not a joiner in the way you are a joiner. I don't mind seeing people who join and hearing stories of people who join, but unless it's like the Doodle Club at the park where I walk my dogs, I'm not a joiner. I don't want to be a part of all of those things. You have an a cappella group. Did I join it or did I just...
I never thought that I was a joiner. I didn't see you.
You are.
I never ever, I still kind of don't believe it. I definitely don't like it. I don't.
You don't like that you are like that?
No, I don't want to be a joiner. That's fucking embarrassing. I didn't realize that I was a joiner. Did you realize that you were a tick, 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 tick?
I could, yes. Well, timers freak me out. I could count on one hand the number of groups I've joined. I mean, I could count on one finger the number of...
Classy.
Yeah.
That's very classy.
The middle one.
That's classy.
I'm not a joiner that way. Even when my kids were on teams, I mean, I would sign up to bring snacks, but I would sit by myself as all the other people, and slowly other people would migrate over to where I was sitting by myself, and we'd have a conversation, but I didn't wind up going out to dinner with all those people and joining and they never did the travel, which you do. You don't have a choice. Your kids travel in such a way that their extracurriculars put you in groups. They've joined, which makes you join.
Well, so we're team people. We've always participated in teams, and
I'm a solo.
There's team
I'm a
everything.
Rub it out yourself.
Even the art focused kids are team based because you're part of a theater troupe. You're part of a choral ensemble. You're part of the orchestra. You're part of the band. There's never just a onesie. You're not standing up there by yourself. You're in the quartet. It's always there's some fucking joining shit going on.
Mallory used to dance, and she said, I want to quit. She was like this tiny little, I sausaged her into a tutu and her whatever. I want to quit. And I said, I hear your words, but you're not quitting because you're part of this. They put together an entire performance with you as part of it. You are part of this thing. When this is over, you do not, once your recital happens, you do not have to do this again, but you got to finish the year. You've got to finish the season, whatever, softball, dancing, baseball, soccer, whatever it is, you have to finish at least the season. And the day my kids said to me, I think it was more him, I don't want to play baseball anymore, I exhaled because I don't have to wash your pants and keep them white and make sure I know where they are for the next time. I would have purchased, how many games were there? 35? I would have purchased 35 pairs of white pants. Why when you take them off, I'm now in charge of going in your room and picking up the dirty stuff to make sure that tomorrow afternoon it's clean. Ugh. I hated it. Same reason I didn't want my kids to model. It's a full-time job for me, an interest of yours. I'm not a fan. So I did it, and I supported it every time they showed an interest. They said at one point after The Princess Bride, I want to take a fencing lesson. Fencing? Sure. So we went and we took a lesson, and they were like, never again. I'm like, perfect.
Rocco did fencing for 3 full cycles. He was actually quite good at it, but we didn't stick with it.
The fencing episode on The Big Bang Theory is one of my favorite episodes there is. He says, when do I get to stab my friends? He's like, we don't call it stabbing. It's a touch. And he says, when do I get to touch my friends? I'm like, no, we don't say that either.
Yeah, we're done here. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and we're out. But we tried everything, anything they wanted to try, because I had a parent that didn't let me try anything and didn't encourage me to try something. And when I was good at something, didn't encourage me to continue doing it, which is why, and this was a discussion we had at dinner last night, I will always have, it's the difference between a job and a career. And I want to encourage my children to have a career, because there's always work and employment in a career, and a job is something that you will need to hustle for the rest of your life. And unless you enjoy the hustle, and you might enjoy it now and hate it later, a hustle it's a difficult way to make a living and have a life. But a job, a career, meaning like a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, there will always be work for you. Nursing as a career. There's just, job is a hustle, and I don't love a hustle. Now, when I'm looking at my third act and I'm looking at jobs, I think, well, I could do 11 different things. They're all on a hustle. And I just want to feel like, oh, this is clearly what I do. This is clearly where I belong. And they are going to compensate me for doing so.
Well, what you're talking about is purpose. And that's the struggle that I've been having since before 2020, but came to a head during that moment. All the changes that year brought, and all the choices that I'm sifting through right now. All the choices that you're sifting through. Your choices right now, probably based on the way you talk about it, feel to you as if there are no choices. That you're staring into a world of what is there for me. And instead, you're sitting in front of, there are so many choices, I don't even see them. Right? Because you have so many choices. That's part of the challenge in limitless opportunity. It's almost harder than when you're tightly in the neck of the funnel and you can only do the very next thing. It's really about figuring out what is the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, because that's what's going to, that's career. You're calling it career. It's just this, it's dimensionalizing that same thought. That's what everybody is chasing.
No, you're telling me I don't even know my purpose. You're making it more philosophical when I was just like job, function, job. And you're like, no, it's way bigger than that. You don't even have a fucking purpose.
Well, I'm really good. I'm really good at not answering that question for myself. So I figured I would share it with you. Yep. I'm really good at preventing any kind of answers from flowing to me. I can block that shit. I'm like a jujitsu master. I'm a jujitsu master in the career block. Come to my talk at the
I'll be there.
At She-TED. I'll be there in the corner.
I'm going to TED She podcast.
I bet you 3 people are going to join my group, and I'll stand there and blah, 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 blah.
I'll make it 4.
Nice,
and I'll take care of your tincture at the time.
Nice.
Hey, rumor has it that in Arizona, edibles are legal. Recreational marijuana is legal there. I'm just saying.
My presentation just got more interesting.
Well, if you have favors that you hand out it'll get interesting for everyone.
10 secrets of successful podcasts. Secret number 1, edibles.
Get high.
Yeah.
Secret 1, get high first. Secret number 2, wait till you're higher.
Join together with the high.
Join. Stop with the join. So She Podcast is interesting for me because it's something that I'm joining. Like that's a group.
Right.
So I will be uncomfortable the whole time. And you're like, this is my wheelhouse. I've joined.
You are so hilarious in that setting. Every time I would get a rise out of seeing someone who I had only known online, or just saying hello to somebody because we had some shared affinity or for no other reason, you would look at me and you were not only telegraphing with every cell in your body, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. You would frequently say,
don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me.
And grab me and pull me away. You say, you're not doing that, and pull me out of the environment. You did that at least twice in the thing. And I was like, okay. And I still at that point didn't realize what a joiner I am. Fuck.
Just so you know, though, at the same time, I did that once when you're like, we should have lunch. And you brought me with you as a, but at the very same time, I am so grateful to go to places like that where I would sit in my room the whole time with you, because you are the spark in a conversation. You are the let me reach out, hold your arm while I talk to you and say the wrong name, have you correct me and not care. And you are the conduit between Melissa staying in the room and writing and Melissa probably eating, but more so like leaving the room and having a social experience of any sort, mask, no mask, whatever it is. So for being my bridge to humanity, that is the only way that I could do this conference. If you said to me tomorrow, I can't go, the middle one has a regatta, I would be like, I'm out. Like that would be the end of my, I wouldn't say interest, but possibility of me joining anything. If you were not there, that's the end of it for me.
I'm so excited that you're going to be there, period. Full stop.
With you.
On top of all of that,
on top of me.
I get a benefit from you being there. We are opposite benefits to each other. If I'm dragging you into all of these, human interactions that you would ordinarily shun, right? You have this magic radar, I don't even know what, bubble. You have this it's like that sixth sense from the girl in Marvel who holds her hand out and there's this swirling ball of energy, and you look into it and you can instantly tell these are the wrong people for you.
Why are you talking to these people?
It's like you are in the wrong circle. Step back. And you do this thing with your you know it.
He
and
calls
I'm running.
himself a doctor, but he has no degree at all.
I'm running into the group like, these are my people. Look, these are my people. And you're like, these are not even human people.
These are not humans.
And I just need to learn your tricks, your secrets of life.
His ID says doctor, and he has no degree. Like a step away from Dr. Feelgood.
I feel like I have skepticism. I feel like I have intellect. I feel these things are true.
You're very excitable. You're very
excited.
I am
that. I'm super, but it's exciting. No?
It's not. It's not. I don't know why you think that. It's not at all. It's scary. It's gross.
What?
It's uncomfortable.
Come
but
on.
I do love that you usher me into situations and that I can usher you out of situations.
Yeah, you are so helpful at the preventing. You're the best bodyguard in that way, because you really can keep me out of a whole lot of
Don't mention
tough
meals.
Situations.
Here's how I see it. I'm writing the whole time and I'm coming to your speech. That's how I see it. But if there is a cocktail or, have you figured out what pajamas you're wearing?
Oh my God.
That's the only night I know of.
Oh my God in heaven. Oh my God in heaven. I don't even want to tell you. I've been listening to Jessica's podcast, She Podcasts, just to get updates. I don't typically listen to it because it's very heavy on all of the show stuff. So I'll listen to their banter, and then they get to here's what's going on in the industry, and let me talk to you about this, the ICANN thing and the back up, and I'm like, I don't want regulatory. I don't. So I just listen for the social stuff and turn it off. Oh my gosh, they're spending 42 minutes arguing about pajamas. It's a psychological experiment. I've never heard anything like it. You really have to go listen to the past two
Somebody
episodes.
texted me about it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And said, I'm sure you haven't listened or you would have killed yourself by now.
Oh! Well,
I didn't cricket him. I texted back and said, I have not listened,
I
but
know
now
who that
I feel I
person
have
is,
to.
and I almost texted him myself and said, I feel for you. How in the world do you sit and listen to this conversation go off the rails and in the clown car, it burst into flames mid-air and then hit the ground and explodes? The two of them are really, they're arguing with each other over pajamas. They're arguing over the pajamas. And on the one hand, I kind of get it. On the other hand, it is adorable because you're listening to these very professional, high-level, organized, world-beating women fixating on the stupidest nothing detail, and it's like anxiety. It's like that's where it's okay to let all of the anxiety hang out and just fester. And Elmo pajamas. Let's talk about the Elmo pajamas. Why is an adult wearing Elmo pajamas? Really good.
We'll let you know, dear listener, how it goes. I do want to thank you for listening today and always putting us into your ears and in your brain. We have permeated your brain. Are you a joiner? That's really what I want to know from you this time around. Are you a joiner? Let us know. Are you more like Amy? Are you more like Melissa? To whom do you relate? Tell us everything. Thank you for listening. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.